Hey, I'm Gene.
Hey, I'm Ozzy, and welcome to the Gene and Ozzy Show.
Just a couple of old friends talking about random stuff.
And you are in on it. Boom, 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 boom.
You are listening to the Gene and Ozzy Show.
Season 2, you're listening to the greatest podcast ever. They told you they would be back.
So our subject for today's show is, drum roll, school days. Let's go.
Hurry up, Johnny. It's 8:30. It's the first day of school, and you mustn't be late.
Oh, I don't have to be there till 9:45. I've got lots of time. So sing it again?
Sing what?
That school day song. You know, the one when you were a girl in calico?
Oh, you mean the song we used to sing when I first went to school.
Yes, that's the one. Sing it again.
School days, dear old golden rule days, reading and writing and arithmetic, taught to the tune of a hickory stick. I was your girl in calico, you were my bashful barefoot beau. I wrote on your slate, I love you, Joe, when we were a couple of kids.
Yes, school days. Now, we touched on school on the last episode of the season 1 of the Gene and Ozzy Show. Touched a little bit about school, and we shared a couple of experiences around the water fountain. But today we're gonna dive deeper on the subject of school days and explore that a little bit more.
Let's talk about school.
To start off this conversation,
Yeah.
I was thinking we can talk about our school bus experiences, waiting for the school bus. Parents have been doing this for centuries. They've told their children, when I was your age, I used to trek through 10 feet of snow. I used to walk to school in Arctic conditions, minus 20 degrees for hours.
And we liked it. When I was your age.
You all are wussies. You wussies.
You don't know what going to school in the snow really is. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you. So I'm curious, Gene, what are these stories that you tell your son?
I tell my son absolutely nothing about my childhood because that would scar him for life. that would send him down the wrong path.
We're just talking about waiting for the school bus.
I know. But no, we do talk about it. I shared a story or two with him. One in particular was our school bus driver. I'm going to call him Mr. O.
Wasn't my dad, was he?
No, not that Mr. O. This Mr. O was an older black man, bald-headed. He was docile. He was nice. But if you weren't out there by the time that he pulled the bus up, he's gone. He would pull up for just like a second. And then pew, he's gone. So you had to be at the bus stop at the curb when he came. And we would send one of us out to watch for Mr. O. And it was usually me. And then my sisters would send out and say, hey, go out there and wait for the bus. When I would be out there standing in the cold, waiting for Mr. O to come around. When I see the front of his bus coming, I would scream out,
Here comes the big yellow booby chicken bus.
You used to do that, really?
I used to do that every time.
That's crazy.
And they would know Mr. O's coming. And so I would get on, and my sisters, they were a little older. Of course, they would take their time with their makeup or whatever girls do. And
Who knows what they do in there?
who knows what do you do? But and I think they would send me out first because I could stall. And I would get on the bus, and he would say, and he would talk like this: "Where are your sisters?"
Say that again, Gene.
"Where's your sisters? Get on now." That's what he said. So I would get on, right? And
Fred Sanford.
Fred Sanford. And I would say, "Yep, they're coming," right? Knowing that they're going to be like 5 minutes, 6 minutes late. So I'd get, and I'd sit in my chair. Stuart also caught the bus with me. Stuart. And I'd look out at the front door, see if my sisters were coming. And then here comes one. And then here comes the other.
So how long would he wait before he just took off?
Really, I'm fabricating. It wasn't too long. But after I got on the bus, or one of us, he would have to wait, knowing that the other kids are going to come.
Oh boy. Yeah. So you don't tell your son any stories about waiting for the school bus.
I told him about that one.
But you don't say, I used to wait outside for a half hour and freeze.
Yeah, I've had said that. And you know what's funny? He would be willing to sit outside or stand outside and wait for the bus himself.
Oh,
Even though he can stand inside and look out the door, the window to see his bus coming, but he sometimes would rather just stand out, wait for the bus.
I guess maybe we were weaker. I don't know, or I was.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. I was sensitive to the cold. I remember getting ready for school and I still have this problem as an adult. Like my feet and hands are ultra cold a lot of the time because I have poor circulation.
Same here. I stay
and
cold.
I remember we had this little heater. Actually, we had the vents. We had the vents that we would just like sit on top of in the morning because we were so cold. The floor vents.
Yeah, we used to do that too.
Yeah,
we had that. Yeah, we had that in my mom's room, and it was a heater vent in the floor.
You put your feet on there, and
it would shoot up hot air.
Felt so good.
It felt so good. You put your socks on, and sometimes I just go barefoot and stand on that thing.
Absolutely, I still do the same thing as an adult. Before I get my cup of coffee, and I get on top of that grill.
Man, I did not know that about you. Yeah, we got that similar.
Yeah.
We used to do
But
that.
It's little memories like that little shared experiences that I believe a lot of us had, growing up that we don't really necessarily talk about.
There's another one. I don't know if I told my kid about this one, but there was a time, this was the third grade, third or fourth. I was rushing to put my shoes on, and I just grabbed them, put them on, and got on the bus. And you got all the other kids, chit chatting, and I'm engaging in conversation. All of a sudden, under my foot, I'm feeling this little tickle.
Oh.
And so I'm just like stamping down my foot. I'm like, what is that? I don't know what it is. And it would stop.
Probably killed it, whatever it was.
I feel it again, little tickle. I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, step it down. And the way our bus went, it went to the high school first. So we dropped off the high school kids. Then we went to the elementary. And so I'm still feeling this little tickle. It would start and stop, start and stop. I'm like, what on earth? And so I as soon as we pull up to the school, I get off the bus and I go right into the school. And right as we walked into the elementary school that I went to, there was like benches, like right inside in the doorway. There's a bench on the right and a bench on the left that kids can sit. Wait for the bus, get off the bus, whatever. Wait for school to start. So I immediately sat on that bench, took that shoe off. There was a huge spider in my shoe.
You kidding me?
a big. It was a good sized spider. I took my shoe off. I shook it, and there it goes. It just fell out, and I'm like, what?
Right. Man, that would freak me out.
I'm not as afraid of spiders as my wife is. My wife's terrified of spiders.
I'm glad you told me, because it's giving me a lot of ideas the next time I come by and visit.
Oh, dude, she'll sock you in the nose so hard.
Yeah, well, it's not like that hasn't been done before at your house.
True.
Your
Yeah,
son
I
has
did.
hit me with the football, hit my face.
Hey, Ozzy, think fast.
Think fast. And he threw the football at the.
Yeah, we had to explain to him the concept of that.
Yeah,
You know,
think
when we
fast.
say,
You wait a second or two to
Give
give
the
the guy a
person-
shot. at
give the
protecting
person
themselves.
time to think.
Yeah, you know, right. It's not fair.
That's the thing. Anyway, yeah, your nose stayed red like that whole day. It broke your nose.
There's always been this conversation that's lasted over the decades on why there's no seatbelts on school buses, but we won't discuss that because children's lives don't matter. Yeah, I'm not sure why there should be airbags and everything to protect children on school buses. Maybe there is now, but back in
I
the
don't think so.
70s and 80s, there was nothing.
No, again, 70s, no safety.
No safety. No one cared about what happened to your kids. Just
No.
bandage them up once they're in the hospital. There's these horrible kids that would sit behind me on the school bus, and they would give me wet willies. A wet willy is this horrible thing that rotten kids do to other kids, and that what they do is they take their index finger and they put it in their mouth and they moisten it with their own saliva, which is teeming with viruses and germs and all kinds of junk. And then they would stick it right in your ear without your permission. That, my friend, is a wet willy. And it's one of the worst feelings that you can get as a child on the school bus. Like, you don't want someone's wet saliva dripping in your ear. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow. Ozzy.
So yeah, that was the worst part of being on the school bus: the wet willies and the Indian burns.
An Indian burn, if I remember correctly, is when someone grabs your arm and then they twist it the opposite direction to get that burning sensation on either your leg. They would either do it to your leg or your arm. If your legs were skinny enough, they do it on your
Yeah.
legs.
Oh, it would hurt.
So bigger kids, older kids would do that to you, give you wet willies and Indian burns.
Like that. Yeah. I mean, middle school, elementary school. I mean, was I picked on? I don't know, but it just seems like that there was a lot of wet willies and Indian burns in my life when I was a kid on the school bus. Like, that's all I remember. So I don't know, but not a lot of good experiences on the school bus.
I think we had some fun times on the school bus.
Yeah.
You remember like seeing the older kids fight on the school bus?
Yes, that was always a little disturbing.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it was high schoolers, because if we were in elementary school and seeing high schoolers, because we used to ride the bus with the high school kids, and seeing two big high school kids.
Oh, that is scary.
Yeah, it looked like King Kong and Godzilla going
Oh,
at
yeah, that would be scary.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that leads me to another subject.
What subject is that, Gene?
You ever peed or pooped your pants at school? I take that silence. Yes.
Yeah, Gene, I peed my pants at least one time that I remember.
At least one.
At least once. This was in Texas, East Texas. That's where I went to first grade. Little school in Gilmer, Texas, for our fans in Gilmer. Hello. And yeah, I remember this very clearly, that the day that I peed my pants. because it was very embarrassing. And I was just in class. I don't remember what time of day. All I remembered is I was holding it because kids are always afraid to ask permission to do anything. So we just were like, what's better, to ask permission to go to the bathroom or just urinate on ourselves? Well, we picked urinating on ourselves. So
that sensation, that warm sensation.
I thought I could just hide the fact that I was peeing, and not, no one will notice. So there I was.
How old were you?
I was 7.
7? Okay.
6 or 7?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 6.
Okay.
6 years old. And I just remember this. I was just peeing on the seat, and it just spilled over into a pool around my chair. It was a swimming pool, Gene. You could take like a dive in the 3-foot section. That was how much I urinated. But anyway, the kids were the ones that noticed. And they're like, teacher, or Miss whatever her name was. I can't remember her name, Miss Ann, whatever. And she saw the pool of pee around my chair. And she's like, let's get you dry and fixed up or whatever. I don't remember the words that she used, but this was the funniest part. She took me to this room and it was like a hybrid of a janitor's closet. Cause I remember there was like chemicals and stuff in there and like hangers of pants, of different random pants.
They have pants on standby.
Seriously. And I'm like, and she's like, put this on. And I'm like, okay. And I'm putting on a completely different pair of pants. But this is where it gets really funny. When I was going back home from school that day, of course I was on the bus with my older brother. And my older brother, he looks over and looks at my pants and he goes,
"Are those new pants?"
You didn't go to school with those pants.
And I'm like, oh, I had these pants forever. What are you talking about? Forever meaning like 2 hours.
What did they look like? What did the pants look like?
Is it the 1970s? They looked putrid, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were bell bottoms.
Oh man, what did you drink to make you pee so much?
I don't remember.
Well, you just wanted to just hold it?
I just was scared to death to ask the teacher anything.
And it was just the thing to do, just let it fly.
You know what? It wasn't until the 2nd grade that the teachers realized that I couldn't see the chalkboard. Because I wasn't willing to just say, hey, I can't see the chalkboard.
How did they discover it?
A smart teacher's like, your son needs glasses. And she figured that out on her own because I didn't say anything. I was too scared. I was petrified of adults. Petrified.
And you still are.
Not really.
I think you still are.
I'm an adult. I would have to be scared of myself.
Adult.
So Gene, okay, I embarrassed myself. I told you the story, my pee story. Now it's your turn. Do you have a story of incontinence?
It's my turn. I'm gonna. This is the granddaddy of embarrassing.
Is it a pee story?
No, sir. This is a poop story.
Oh no. Okay, just a warning to anyone that's just listening in on the Gene and Ozzy show. We're just about to reveal a very gross story, I believe. So hang on to your seats. You can fast forward this section if you're easily grossed out.
Hide your kids, hide your wives. Because here it goes.
Hide your kids, hide your wives. Go ahead, Gene.
The reason I know the janitor's closet with the pants there,
yeah,
because I had that same experience.
Yours was obviously worse.
Yes, they do have these pants on reserve. I was in the 2nd grade. One of my favorite candy bars It was like an almond joy, or maybe a Hershey with almonds in it,
Dude,
right?
this is already gross, and you haven't even told us a story.
Yeah, no. I got wind. My mom bought some X-Lax for constipation. They look like candy bars, and she wasn't using them. But I knew that if she wasn't going to use them, she would put them in the freezer. Guess what? I'm gonna go and get some of those little chocolate treats in the freezer.
You need like a stool, a chair to get up there, or
Probably. I'm like this little kid, like rubbing my hands together, like got me some chocolate treats. Yeah. All right. Like, and you could break them off like little Hershey's.
yeah, I remember my parents had those too. They break
Yeah,
off
you
like little
break them
sections.
off. I probably ate like half of it. No one was the wiser at what happened to the X-Lax until the next day.
You're saying that it took 24 hours for it to kick in?
24 hours. I don't know.
What kind of product is this? It takes 24 hours.
I don't know if it was a full 24, maybe a good 18, 20 hours.
Wow.
Get on the bus, Mr. O's bus, traveling to school, felt a little tummy rubble.
Uh-oh.
Pinching those cheeks together, make sure everything's good.
Little Gene cheeks.
Yeah, little Gene cheeks. Little Gene cheeks. It was a girl in front of me. I can go ahead and say her name. Her name was Laura Avery. I remember feeling that tummy rumble, and then thinking, I'm just going to have to break wind.
This is really this is a gross story. I want to tell you. This is disgusting. I don't even know if our listeners are going to want to hear this.
I warned you. I warned you.
There's no way to warn anyone of this. This is grosser by the second.
I know. I told the teacher, I'm like raising my.
Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I bet the teacher knew. They could probably smell it. And she won't let you go?
Yeah, she let me go. But on my way to the bathroom.
Oh, on your way.
That's when it happened.
Well, that's less embarrassing than having it happen in class, though.
Here comes the product of the X-Lax.
Oh, no.
Not only in the little Gene underpants, they were all over little Gene's jeans. And so I ran into the bathroom right after it happened. Right.
Okay.
And it was a mess.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
It was atrocious.
This is disgusting.
It was atrocious, man. It was like.
Now, did you get new pants?
Okay. Someone came in.
An adult?
No, another student.
Okay.
And I say, hey, go tell our teacher.
What did you tell the student? Let's be real.
I say, hey.
I got an accident.
I got an accident. Me accident. Accident me. You go tell teach.
And now, so the teacher comes and just peeks her head in, and I'm like, yeah, I had an accident. And then
just a little poop everywhere. It's no big deal.
And here is the teacher. She goes and gets the guidance counselor, and his name was Mr. Bennett. And Mr. Bennett,
and you have a good memory, Gene. That's amazing.
Mr. Bennett. It's only selective and sporadic. Mr. Bennett was this. Here's an angel of a man, the biggest heart. He comes in and he's, oh, it looks like you got a little accident. Well, let me help you. Let me help you. So he goes, this angel of a man goes into that closet,
pulls out some pants. You remember the color of the pants?
These pants were the purple pants.
The purple pants.
Purple. They look like, when the Incredible Hulk turns into the Incredible Hulk and he got those big purple pants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They look like those big Incredible Hulk purple pants.
Cool.
And so he comes back into the bathroom, right? This wonderful man.
Wonderful man.
With a big heart.
Biggest heart.
wipes my butt for me.
Wipes your butt for
He
you.
puts me over his lap and he cleans me up.
Gene, what in the world? How are we putting this in our show? How do I put this in the show? What do you want me to do?
He cleans me up. I told you, man. After he cleaned me up, he gave me those pants, no underwear.
Well, you messed up the underwear. You don't deserve new underwear, Gene.
But here's what Mr. Bennett did. Mr. Bennett looked for a bag to put the pants in. All he could find, garbage bags that are clear. I just went and waited for the bus with my clear bag of poop pants.
With your poop pants. Yeah.
With my poopy pants. Having to get on Mr. O's bus was hurtful.
Was that the scariest part of the whole experience?
I was more terrified at that.
Yeah, I can imagine riding home with it.
Riding home with that bag. Why did he send me home with that clear bag of poopy pants?
The risk of discovery was scary, I'm sure.
Halfway home, you smelt it.
Oh, I'm sure. I smell it now, Gene.
What you done there, little Gene? What, you got your poop pants in the bag? Got them poop pants in the bag? Hey, boy,
Come
got them
on.
poop pants in the bag.
There was this kid. His name was JJ.
Everybody knew a JJ in school.
JJ had one of your situations. JJ peed his pants.
Yeah.
JJ had to ride home in his pee pants. The other kids was very harsh to JJ. They gave that kid down the road, man, calling him Mr. Pee Pants and everything. People gave him such a hard time that he changed school. He went through the remainder of that year, the best of my memory, being called Pee Pants.
JJ, if you're listening to the Gene and Ozzy Show podcast, we want to tell you that we understand where you're coming from and what happened to you.
I feel your pain.
I feel your pain.
I feel your pain.
And we experienced what you had experienced.
Some of us to a higher degree.
And you are now part of a special club, the Pee and the Poo Pants Club.
The Pee and the Poo Pants Club. Welcome to the party, JJ.
Welcome to the potty.
No, he was already at the party.
All right. Well, okay. So
that's my story.
Yeah, please never repeat that story ever again. We would really appreciate that.
That's my story. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's talk about lunch ladies for a moment.
You had a crush on your lunch lady, didn't you?
What? No, I didn't. You stop.
Yes, you did.
No way. But you have any experiences, any memories about your lunch ladies?
I can't remember the lunch ladies in particular. I just remember some of the lunch ladies had like sweaty armpits.
Yeah.
And I know those poor ladies were in that kitchen the whole day, I'm sure. Cooking over a hot stove for us cheering. You cheering, cooking this meal for you cheering. They were nice to me.
Yeah. Let me ask you something about your lunch ladies. Okay. Did you ever get a lunch lady or lunch man, which didn't exist in the 70s and 80s? But did you ever get a lunch person?
A lunch person.
Give you extra or be generous to you with an extra portion?
No, I don't remember that. I take it you had that experience.
I felt there was like this one lunch lady that had an infinity towards me or something, because I noticed it was just me getting these extra portions.
Oh, she liked you.
I think she did.
She liked that little Ozzy.
She liked me as a little nugget, I guess. And but I remember getting. I mean, I really loved cobbler, peach cobbler. It was one of my favorite desserts at school, and she's like, "Oh, darling, let me double you up. Let me double you up.
I want to double you up."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
place in her heart.
and I just felt so loved.
I don't even get this up at home. Thank you, lunch lady.
My parents don't even know I exist, and here you're giving me double cobbler. You are an angel, like Gene. You were talking about the poo
Mr.
angel.
Bennett.
Well,
Yeah.
I had a little lunch lady angel
Aw.
as well. I got
Does she
double.
have like an aura around her, like when you see her? A
Probably
glowing
more,
aura?
sweat odors.
Sweaty armpit.
Hey, let me ask you this: what was your favorite lunch day at school?
Pizza day.
Same here. It's
Something. Yeah,
pizza
something
day.
about that pizza.
Did they put cocaine in that pizza?
Yeah, I know that square pizza. Remember?
Yeah.
It was like a rectangle. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
not
it
square.
wasn't even a real pizza. A real pizza is triangle.
It didn't even look like a pizza. It was just a rectangle.
But
that thing was so good.
it was so good. It was so good. What happened? What did they put in that food?
Keep you coming back for more.
Oh,
You know what? Kids will be like drug dealers, like baiting and switching, trying to get extra pizza, and like, I give you this for that pizza.
Back in our day, that was considered a vegetable.
True. Well, they would serve our pizza with corn.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, pizza and corn and a salad. Yeah, I think like now, if you see me eating a pizza, I'd like a salad with it, and that was done all because of Munfordville Elementary School.
Yeah, Munfordville. Well, shout out to Oldham County Elementary. So, but here's another funny story around lunch ladies.
Okay.
I live in St. Louis now, and there's this little cafe called the Mud House. So shout out to the Mud House.
Been there. Didn't we go there?
Yeah, I took you to the Mud House.
That's right. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, great
picture
breakfast place. I know the owners. It's just a great place.
We took a picture at that.
Eat breakfast,
didn't we? Is that the picture we took with Bob Dylan on the wall?
Yeah, Bob Dylan was in the back. Yeah, that's the Mud House. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
If you're listening to the Gene and Ozzy show, I'll post that on that picture.
Maybe we can hashtag it. Hashtag it all.
Hashtag it all.
Yeah.
Hashtag it all.
Everything is linked to everything. Hashtag it. But anyway, so I'm in. I don't think I was with you. I was with someone else, but I was in the line waiting for my coffee and breakfast. And while I'm waiting, I'm looking at this beautiful picture. It's about the size of my body. That's how big it is, which isn't big. But so this picture, this painting, rather, has all these ladies on there, and they all have these like white-looking dresses, and I thought they were all 1970 tennis players because that's what it looked like.
Right.
They all look like tennis players. And so I'm staring at this painting. I'm just enamored by it, Gene. I'm enamored. And I'm like, I recognize these people. Who are what tennis players? Because I love tennis. I love watching tennis. Right. I used to love Martina
Navratilova.
Thank you, Gene. I knew I could depend on you. And Chris Evert. And, I used to love watching old tennis.
Right.
Okay? So I'm staring at this, and I'm like, they look like tennis players, but they don't really look like tennis players. In fact, they're kind of out of shape. I don't understand.
Sweaty armpits.
What am I looking at? Right? So, I finally recognized one of the women, and it hit me all of a sudden. I'm like, that's my lunch lady. back in the 80s in Oldham County High School or Oldham County Middle School.
No way.
That was one of my lunch ladies in a painting. You know how they have like the little description of the painting, what it is, where it's from, who painted it, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I looked down and it was high school in Louisville, Kentucky.
There you go.
And it was it was called Lunch Ladies or something like that.
Wow.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Here I am in St. Louis. And I just happened to see this painting, and one of my lunch ladies is in this painting.
As Flavor Flav says, wow.
Wow.
Wow, G. Man, that is insane.
Isn't that crazy?
You saw your angel of a lunch lady.
No, not her. Not her. She wasn't in it.
She wasn't
Most
in
of the
it.
lunch ladies were really mean. I remember just mean lunch ladies for the most part. They're like, you're just going to eat what we give you and stuff like that. It was like prison.
And if they really liked you, like Ozzy's lunch lady liked
Yeah.
him, if they
She loved
liked
me,
you,
Gene. She loved me.
they would give you more. They
Yeah.
didn't like me. They didn't
I got
care.
double
they said-
cobbler.
They said, that's that little boy with them poop pants getting on the
Yeah.
bus. Don't
Any
give him
poop
nothing."
pants. I got
Don't-
double cobbler. What do you get, Gene? What do you get?
I got poop pants.
You got poop pants. I got cobbler.
Do you remember picture day? Anything around your picture day? Anything exciting happen? Anything funny happen your picture days? What do you remember about picture days?
Well, along the topic of pee,
Oh, you peed on camera.
we need to change the title of this particular podcast to not school days, but pee and poo days.
Pee and poo days.
Because that's all we're talking about. But yeah, I
Pee
had,
and poo days.
first of all, I never enjoyed picture day. I didn't know how to comb my hair. I didn't know how to look good back then. I had terrible clothes. It was just the whole experience was embarrassing. We would get the pictures home, sample pictures, and you would
The proofs.
the proofs, and you would take it home to your
And it would
parents.
have even the writing across your face, proof.
Yeah, proof. And then you're supposed to come back, and they took like a poll, like who's buying pictures. Of course, we never bought pictures because we're too poor. Our parents would reject it right away. Like, we don't want memories of you kids, basically. We don't want to remember you.
Oh, man.
So that was embarrassing, going back to school going, I'll take 0. My mom and dad don't love me. It's like,
I think mom wanted to go ahead and get the pictures, and some years she did buy, but a lot of times I just didn't want them.
because you probably looked bad, right?
I don't.
You didn't like the way you looked.
Probably. I don't know. A little goofy looking me.
Well, I mean, like you said, my parents every now and then would buy some of the school pictures, but very rarely. And the ones that they would end up buying were the ones I looked the worst in. So like one year, I remember I split my hair down the middle of my head. So it looked like the parting of the Red Sea. All we needed was Moses on top of my head.
Behold his mighty hand.
Sounds like you were alfalfa in school.
Oh, it was terrible. Beyond your imagination how terrible I looked during school days. But this one picture day, I was putting my shoes on and my cat peed on my shoes. My brown, what is it? What were the shoes that we would wear in the 70s and 80s?
Buster Brown shoes.
Buster Browns. Buster Browns. Anyway, my cat decided, well, you know what? I'm going to ruin little Ozzy's picture day. I'm going to urinate in his shoes.
Your cat said, "These are some ugly shoes.
These are ugly
Take that.
shoes,
Let me
and
pee on them."
he's ugly, so I'm going to ruin his life. And the smell is extremely pungent. So I thought I'd cover up the smell by putting galoshes on my
No.
shoes.
No.
The rain galoshes that we
Uh-huh.
used to wear, we put over our shoes to protect our Buster Browns from the inclement weather, like it needed it. And but no, it did not work, Gene. That whole day was so embarrassing. Everybody smelled me, and they're like, "You smell like
You smell like pee.
They-
I'm surprised they didn't call you pee boy.
It was terrible. And then, of course, that was the year my mom wanted that picture. I'll show you the actual picture day, group picture, and you can see that I have galoshes on. And that was the day I smelled like cat urine. I was harassed, man. It was terrible.
Poor little Ozzy. But going back to being in the school, I'm sure you had your music teachers.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, I think his name was Mr. Brady. Well, there's something really special about music teachers. I don't know if they're all built this way, but they're always so neat and interesting.
Mr. Brady, did he have a wife named Carol and 3 sons? Can you tell a story?
You know, a
That
lot
man
of our
named Brady.
viewers or listeners will not understand what you're even referring to.
He was busy with 3 boys of his own.
It's the story of a man named Brady who was busy with 3 boys of his own. They were born and living all
Here's a story
together, yet they were all alone.
of a man named Brady.
Of a man named Brady. He had 3 kids of his own.
Oh man, go ahead.
Sons. But anyway, yeah, I just, I remember he was just so cool, the way he taught music. And honestly, in middle school, I wasn't that interested in music at all. I was totally unlike you, Gene, where you were scratching records at the age of 2. I was like, what is music? It doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care if music even exists.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm different now. I love music now, but back then, yeah, I couldn't get into it. But I did like the way he taught music class. And how he got us all excited about different genres of music and, composers. Now, those tests were hard, I'll be honest, because I couldn't remember the names of the composers. You remember those tests?
Mm-hmm.
Like you had to learn the composers, and while you're taking these tests, you're like, how am I going to use this in the future? I was processing this. Why does Chopin? How is that going to have any meaning for me in the future? It's just a Beethoven, blind, deaf, whatever. What does it matter? To me, it just
it's
doesn't matter.
Art appreciation. They wanted you to appreciate. He wanted you to appreciate the art.
He was a very kind teacher, and he died. He died a few years after I left that middle school. Yeah, it was really sad. And a lot of people were very sad to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I told the story about Mrs. Wilson. Mrs. Wilson. She was very sweet and kind. And I cannot think of one word negative about anyone said about Miss Wilson.
Are you positive, Gene?
Very positive, negative. But she talked like this. She's very sweet. And today we're gonna learn a little Mozart, and this is something. And she would talk like that, and you just couldn't help but really love Miss Wilson. And she played piano. She would sing to us, get us to sing. But anyway, but you had some crazy experiences in gym class too, though, right?
I tell you what, I don't know a single boy or girl that's ever been in gym class and didn't have a weird experience. I mean, right? Like, for example, okay, so let's go back to the 70s and 80s and let's explain to our audience what we had to go through.
Let's reminisce.
Gym class was terrible. It was a horrible thing. First of all, why were we learning country line dancing?
Face your partner.
and folk, and
That's what we do in Kentucky, boy. Don't you know that?
we were learning all kinds of weird country dances as part of the grade. You know, it was part of the curriculum. You had to understand how to turn your partner round and round. Like, why? Anyway, so that was disturbing. And then there were ropes that went up 3,000 feet up into the air. That wasn't dangerous at all. You know, and I was a weakling. I had no muscle at all.
Get up that rope there.
Get up that rope. Get up that rope. And scared to death, petrified of going up even a few feet, because I would look down and I'm like, I could break my leg. Well, you know what? Yes, you can break your leg when you fall that high, but no one cared in the 70s and 80s. Rope burn. I remember rope burn. I remember kickball, kick to the faces, and just terrible things. And then, of course, taking my clothes off and taking showers in elementary school was the most embarrassing thing ever.
It was.
Why would you put kids through that? We were developing little kids. No one needs to be seen naked at that age.
I would go behind a little wall. Put my gym shorts on.
Oh,
yeah.
I would just pretend to take a shower.
Did you? I
Because
think I
we
did
were
that
required to take showers.
too. Yeah, I think I did that too. Just turn the water on.
I would pretend, and then I would come out. Oh, that was nice. We didn't even sweat. We were too young. Come on. Why are we taking showers?
And back in the early 80s, gym shorts were not like gym shorts they are now. They were pretty high up on not only girls, but boys too. They were I'm going to call him Mr. R. Remember Hall & Oates? Remember John Oates
Yeah.
with the big thick mustache?
Yeah.
Dark hair, Mr. R. He was a ladies' man, and he was like had the whistle. All right, y'all, you kids, get in line right now. Get in line. I'm gonna teach y'all how to be real men. And but I loved him though. He was cool. But he used to he used to come in our science class, and he used to just hang out with his high up shorts.
Oh no. I remember exactly how those shorts looked. Color, were they muted gray?
Yes, they were. Yes,
Yeah, they all had the same shorts.
Yeah.
Everything, you could see everything.
But you know, right? And so now when I think about Mr. R, that's the only image I got. So anybody look up John Oates from Hall & Oates and imagine John Oates really, really high gray shorts with a really tight wife beater shirt and a whistle around his neck.
The tube socks went to the knees.
Yeah. That was Mr. R, but he was cool. He gave us a workout.
Yeah, I'm sure he was cool. All right. Disturbing. Let's change gears here, Gene. Let's talk about field trips, because we all have fond memories. In fact, some of our fondest memories in school were around field trip time. We had to qualify to go to a field trip.
What do you mean qualify?
Well, I'm about to explain to you.
What do you mean by qualify?
Gene, if you can just hold on to your little hat that you're wearing.
Hold on to your hat.
Hold
there,
on
buckaroo.
now, mister. If you didn't pass a particular test, or if you didn't finish your homework or something like that, you couldn't go with the rest of the class. You have to stay in the library the whole day.
That's pretty harsh, man.
Yeah. But I was never one of those kids because I was too anal. But but my favorite field trip, I think, was Mammoth Cave.
Why was that your favorite trip?
It's a boy's dream. You got this huge underground cave that's the largest cave system in the world. and there's bats in there and crawly things and darkness. And it was just romantic in a way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Romantic?
Yeah. It was romantic.
I can't share with you on that. I don't see anything romance about it.
Well, that's because you always lived near Mammoth Cave, but for me, for us, it was very special in Louisville to take a long trip to Mammoth Cave, and that
No,
Chris
I can see
Bear,
that. Yeah.
that was when they had boat rides.
Mhm.
And
ferry?
you would be in this boat and you couldn't see anything in there. You couldn't even see the water really, but there was fish down there and there were bats up above. What are those called? The hanging chads, stalactites, or
taking us back to the 2000 election there.
Yeah.
Stalagmites, stalactites.
Thank you. Yes.
I don't know which one of them goes up and one goes down.
And they'd always be dripping one drop of water.
Yeah, they did. They did.
No,
that is a really good good memory that you got. I remember field trips to Mammoth Cave.
Well, of course. It was like
I think
you'd walk there.
Yeah, right. I think with us, because it was so close, we took it for granted. But I think the exciting thing about trips like that was, and I'm not even joking, we got to go, ready for this? To McDonald's.
What a great day for singing our new song. Good time, great taste, That's why this is our place.
Our place.
The good time, great taste of McDonald's.
Mickey D. Wait a minute. What kind of school did you go to? We always had to pack our lunch.
We went to McDonald's during the field trip. And yeah. And that was like the highlight for us. And here's why.
Please tell us why, Gene.
When you're a kid, McDonald's back then in the 70s and 80s was not like McDonald's now.
No, you're right. It was a wonderland.
Plus, you had your playland, Ronald McDonald the Clown. We would see Ronald McDonald the Clown.
He was a real person, wasn't he, Gene?
He was a real
person. He had feelings.
You would see him on commercials, and then you go on a field trip, boom, Ronald McDonald.
He'd
Grimace,
pop in on you.
Grimace.
I've been picked for the McDonald Land Beauty Contest.
The Hamburglar.
Yep.
Rebel, rebel.
Mayor McCheese.
Study harder and have a cheeseburger.
Okay. Gene's very familiar with the old.
And the Happy Meal.
We're a McDonald's Happy Meal. That's a regular hamburger. A regular size fries. A regular size soft drink.
And a McDonald's Land cookie sampler.
McDonald's Happy Meal. And there's more.
You were happy when you ate it, right?
With a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
a little thin cheeseburger and the little toys, little pop-up toys, and it was just amazing.
Yeah. So that was my highlight.
Yeah. I can see that. I used to enjoy McDonald's when I was a kid too. A lot. But another really cool field trip, and I'm sure you probably went to this trip as well, was going to the capital of Kentucky, Frankfort, not Louisville. Frankfort, Kentucky. There's the capital there, and of course, our social studies teacher would take us there and to learn about government, stuff like that. But that was kind of cool, and it would make you nervous going into it felt like we were walking into the White House, didn't it? It's like,
yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I remember one of those trips. A guy named Kevin. He would always make the claim that we're best friends. Kevin was cool.
Was he incorrect? I really didn't keep in touch with kids I used to go to school with, but about 10 years after I left school, I saw a girl that I used to go to middle school, actually elementary school with, and middle. And I approached her at the mall, Oxmoor. And so I go up right to her and I'm like, "Hey, Kim, it's Ozzy.
Remember me?"
And then she looks at me like I'm crazy. And then I'm like, it's Mo. Because I used to go by Mo too.
Right.
And she looks at me like, please step away from me. I'm like, what did I do? Like, I'm just saying hello. She didn't recognize me at all.
Back away. I have mace.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is awkward. And I walked away.
I have pepper spray. Move back. Sir.
That was embarrassing.
So she still it didn't connect. She still didn't remember.
No, there was zero connection.
Wow, dude.
And this is embarrassing. I used to hold this girl's hand in elementary school.
Oh.
And I recognized her right away. I thought she was so sweet in elementary school. Well, something happened to her because she was not nice to me at all.
She totally blocked you out of her memory.
Yeah, I was just trying to be nice and say hello. And all right. Well, here, let me tell you another experience in school that I think you'd find interesting. This was middle school, South Oldham Middle School in Louisville, Kentucky. And this teacher took us outside with a live chicken. A live chicken. And she wanted to educate us to what happens to a chicken when you cut its head off.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
And so she takes this cleaver. Take all these kids outside, takes a cleaver, cuts the head off the chicken, and she tells us to watch the chicken run around without its head on.
No way, dude.
And we watched it die. And, looking back, like, that's terrible. Like, what was she doing?
She wanted to teach you guys horror. That's what that was.
I tell people that story and it's hard to believe. Like, no, that didn't happen. No, it did happen. That's Kentucky schools.
That's Kentucky schools. Yep.
That stuff happened.
That's Kentucky schools.
I was petrified.
Was there any teachers that you had a crush on?
Oh no, we're gonna go there, huh?
We gotta go there, man.
Okay, she may or may not be alive. She would at least be in her probably late 60s now. Her name was Miss Clore, and yes, I had a childhood crush on her. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
No, tell us more.
I mean, she looked like a model or something.
Yeah.
And it was math. And I think it was the year before we had a math teacher who is the complete opposite of Miss Clore. This guy he was an older man. He wore the same clothes every single day of the school year.
Oh boy.
And he always had chalk on his pants. And he smelled something horrific. And everyone made fun of him. And the next year it was like a fresh breeze of, I don't know, gain. I don't know. It was all of a sudden this beautiful teacher comes walking in and we're all looking at each other like, are you serious? This is our math teacher? And it didn't really matter like if she knew how to teach us math or not.
Man.
Did you ever in home ec, did you ever have to make those pot holders?
Yeah.
With the stones.
Yep.
Yeah. I still have like 2 of those that I made in middle school.
There was one time in home ec class. We were watching like some cooking shows. And of course, you had to turn the lights off, so everybody can focus on the TV. But right before we was turning the lights off, me and another guy, I'll just go ahead and say his name. I'll just call him Zoe. Me and Zoe were like swapping licks, right? Like hitting each other.
Like, boys are right so dumb.
And then all of a sudden, like it was just like this, like constantly. And then like no one saw us. We're just like hitting each other. And then when I was getting ready to watch the little cooking thing show, someone turned the lights off. It was like pitch black. And all of a sudden I got hit in the head. And like on cartoons where you see stars and like twirling around. I saw that. I saw stars. I'm like, man. I probably heard little Tweety birds going off too, but
yeah, you were punched hard, Gene.
I was. I'm like, dude.
Man, I tell you what, That explains a whole lot.
It does.
Yeah. I tell you, so many experiences. We can go on for days talking about school days, but we're going to have to wrap this up, Gene. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
We don't have a choice
Don't
in
be
the
sorry.
matter.
People are probably tired of listening to us anyway at this point. When are they going to shut up?
We've been doing this for 2 hours.
we can talk for 2 more
This
hours.
is
You
crazy.
leave it to us.
How long we've
This
been
is
talking.
crazy.
So,
but we hope that everyone liked this show. What are we going to talk about next time?
we're going to discuss commercials.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about just like some of the most interesting commercials over the last few decades. I think it's going to be a good episode.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun.
I think so too. Bring back some happy memories and some gross memories. Maybe.
Yeah. And of course, we're going to touch on Super Bowl commercials as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, that's a wrap. You have been listening to
The Gene.
No, you're not the Gene.
All right.
Okay. So you go ahead and go.
Well, that's a wrap. You have been listening to.
It's not Ozzy and Gene show.
No, you can say my name and I was going to say your name.
Oh, we're going to do it that way? That's
Yeah,
cool.
let's do it that
Okay.
way. You ready?
Go ahead.
Well, that's a wrap. You've been listening to
Gene
and Ozzy.
Catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
How many of us have them friends? Before we go any further, let's be friends.
The word we use every day. Most of the time we use it in the wrong way. Now you can look the word up again and again, but the dictionary doesn't know the meaning of friends.
And if you ask me, you know I couldn't be much help, because a friend's somebody you judge for yourself. Some are okay and they treat you real cool, and some mistake your kindness for being the fool.
We like to be with some because they're funny. Others come around when they need some money. Some you grew up with around the way, and you're still real close to this very day.
Homeboys through the summer, winter, spring, and fall. And then there's some we wish we never knew at all. And this list goes on again and again. But these are the people that we call friends.